Hi there grade 12 learners, and welcome to our very first look at the PAT for 2022. So this is the DBE, or the Department of Basic Education PAT. The IEB learners will have a different PAT that will come out a little bit later, and I'll do a video on that. But for today, all we're going to do is we're just going to have a quick run through as to what's in the PAT 2022. So let's go and scroll through and let's have a look at what they have in store for us. As please remember that your PAT is going to take the same basic structure as it has over the last 2 years. So what you did in grade 10 is going to be more or less the same as what you did in 11 and now in 12. The only thing that really changes is the topic. So let's go and have a look at that. You'll see in our document we've got everything from what is the PAT, the mark allocation. So let's go through that. Okay, so by now we know what the PAT is. We know that it's a practical assessment task. We also know that it counts to 25% of our end of year mark. So it is something that we need to take very seriously. And it's a way of getting a lot of, I don't want to say easy marks, but yeah, easy marks. So we know the PAT is done over 3 phases. Okay. Phase 1 is where we define the task and find access and evaluate information needed to complete the task. Phase 2 is where we process this data and information. And phase 3 is where you will present the information, solution, findings, and conclusions. Obviously, they mentioned that your teacher will provide you with the dates, but guys, the sooner you can grab a hold of this, start getting the necessary info together, the quicker you'll actually be able to plow through this. Okay, so there they give us some reasons for you not completing the phases. No, we don't want that. Okay, but yeah, things happen. So here they mention the mark allocation. There they tell us the PAT counts for 25% of your final grade 12 mark, and it's broken up as follows. So for phase 1, that section or that phase will be out of 32 marks. Phase 2 will be out of 44. In phase 3, you can see there that's out of 70, because you've probably got your database and your your final report, and you've got your website there as well. So a lot of things in phase 3 very important, and then just a general 4 marks that is up to the teacher to give you in terms of did you hand everything in on time, does it look good, etc. Okay, that's on the mark allocation. Then here's the topic for 2022: the protection of privacy. Exactly something that we know came out last year, especially with the POPIA Act. Here they're talking about data protection as well. So the protection of privacy when using ICTs. Let's see what they're saying to us. In this age of information technology, most people frequently use digital devices and social media platforms for communicating, socializing, performing financial transactions, finding information, etc. It has become easy to share data, which is a plus, making information available and accessible to those who want it. Now, although ICTs have made our daily lives convenient and have placed information within easy and immediate reach of most people, we have to be aware of some of the potential challenges that arise from this progress. Okay, so I can already see where they're going. Then they mentioned to us, while we share information and transact over the internet, our private information may be made available to others. Well, it's not really a maybe, it is made available, often without us realizing the extent of our loss of privacy. This takes place in the following ways, and then they mention a couple of ways. Number 1 people are often required to accept terms and conditions when downloading apps, and I know most of us do that. When installing programs, we just click next. One is also often asked to accept cookies while browsing the internet, which will personalize the content. This is why when you accept the cookies, they then start giving you, providing you with ads and things that's basically tailor-made to what you've been searching. When these cookies are accepted, you are giving consent to the processing and use of your personal data, which may include sharing your data with other parties or third parties. Hidden data collection or unknown technical process in your smartphones could lead to less privacy. Apps ask for your location. We know that even when you're taking photos, you can turn on geotagging. And then information can be made available to third parties for advertising and marketing, etc. So here again, they are just mentioning some of the ways in which we can lose our privacy when utilizing ICT devices. Okay, now they say not all people know what their private data can be used for in the case of a privacy breach. We can keep our network safe by putting protection mechanisms in place, etc. by, for example, installing firewalls on personal computers. But this is not possible on mobile devices such as tablets and smartphones. Okay, young people, that's you and me, include myself in this, okay, are often not well informed about their online privacy and remain unaware of the challenges that this exposure may bring. Right, now they mention about the government. This is what I was talking about earlier, the POPIA Act. Governments around the world have become increasingly concerned over privacy breaches and have instituted laws to protect their citizens' private information. For example, the POPIA Act in South Africa. POPIA refers to the Protection of Personal Information Act. Many people may not be aware of their legal rights as specified in this act. So people have heard about it, they're not quite sure what it actually means for them. Now they continue here. The following aspects and issues, among others, related to ICTs may affect the privacy of users in some way. It could be through their online transactions, social media, POPIA Act, targeted marketing, all of these. Let's look at the task. Now we know just from this picture, many of us, and it's not just teenagers, obviously the path is for you, but a lot of people are engaged in a multitude of different social media platforms. So let's see what the task is, given what they've just said now, because remember what they're saying. We use ICT on a daily basis. We're looking at how to protect our data, how we protect ourselves, privacy. You can see where they are going with. Your task is to investigate how, please take note of this, one or more of the aspects or issues mentioned above. So one or more of these. Okay. Here's your issues, your aspects and issues. Please take note of this. They're saying investigate how one or more of these impact on the privacy of people on a national, provincial, local, or school level. So you must choose one of those. Let's say, for example, I choose social media and youth privacy. Have I chosen one? Yes. Can I choose more than one? Yes, I can. Okay. According to the task. What do I need to do with it? I need to research the impact on the privacy of people on either national, provincial, local, or school level. So I can say, well, I want to look at social media and youth privacy, and I want to see the impact that has on the privacy of people at school level, and that's fine. Okay, so I hope you're understanding. If not, let me know in the comments, and I can always try and help you out there. Right, so then they continue. Your investigation should explore the extent to which people in your investigation are affected by the possible loss of privacy and how they may be exploited unwittingly. What does that mean? How they can take your data, without you even realizing that you've given them your data. How they may be exploited unwittingly when using ICT. So like they mentioned earlier, you download an app and they tell you that in order to use the app, you need to accept all the cookies. That's been exploited because now you can't use the app until you accept it. Okay, so those are just some of the things. Next one. You need to investigate the challenges and implications associated with the protection of privacy when using ICTs and how these challenges can be addressed and solved by indicating how people can protect their privacy when using ICT. So guys, they're telling you here exactly what you need to do. Okay, so gather and analyze data relevant to the protection of privacy when using ICTs. Which measures can you put in place to protect your privacy? Which technology can you use? How many people are or have been affected by a loss of privacy? Again, everything is spelled out fairly clearly here. Identify possibilities that could address or solve the challenges posed by a loss of privacy. Identify a suitable audience. So if you're going to be saying, well, I want to look at social media and youth privacy and its impact at school level, then who's your audience going to be? Your school audience could be the management team at your school. It could be the parents of the school learners. It could be the learners themselves. Okay, so just remember that, because that's important when you do your task definition. Remember, your task definition is you saying what the task is that you've been asked to do. Who's asked you to do it? Who is your target audience? Why are you doing it? How are you going to be doing it? And remember, those are the things you can actually answer in your task definition. Here they go with the focus. The focus of the PATH research must be on the protection of privacy when using ICTs. This is important because you have to have a focus question. So your focus question is going to be based on the protection of privacy. So, so things like, how can people's privacy be protected when they are using ICTs? Okay. Some other things here. The spreadsheet must also contain data other than the data gathered during the survey. Links to some relevant resources are listed below. So here they've given you some resources that you can go and click on and go and read through as well. So that's just going to help you find a ton of information. You've still got to sift through that and see what is relevant to what you have chosen. Okay, so guys, I hope you are with me here. You can see all the links that they give. That's fine. There they give us our overview. This is like we've done every single year. Phase 1, you're creating the folder structure, putting in your task definition, all those different things over there. Phase 2, once you're now done with that, you're going to draw up your questionnaire. You're going to pull up your spreadsheet, put the results of the questionnaire into that spreadsheet. And then you can see in phase 3, we're doing the findings, conclusions, recommendations. You're going to complete the report. You're going to create a website. Your database will have been done in phase 2 already. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the basic structure of that. Everything else is fine. Remember, this is the document that you will receive. So I just want to go through this. Have a look here. As I'm going through there, you can see determine your focus question. The focus question must be one question. That must reflect the main focus of your investigation. What was that? How can people protect their privacy? Okay? A single sentence, clearly phrased, and it has to be relevant. Then remember, you'll have the first table. This table is where you're going to pop in your 10 questions that are going to help you to find information. It's not your questionnaire. Okay? This first table, 10 questions. They're usually grouped into 3 different categories. So the idea is to group your questions according to a particular category, whatever your category is going to be. Okay. You can also see over here, you'll have your questions, then your question level. So question level 1 question would be a very simple, straightforward question like, what color is the wall? Well, the wall is white. Okay, simple question. A level 2 question would be one that requires a bit more thinking. So, what shade of blue has been painted onto the wall? Well, according to the way I see it, could be a darker shade of blue, sort of almost like a royal blue. Okay, and when we go to level 3, it becomes more complex, and level 4 as well. Okay. However, I think they usually do mention how many you need in each level. Your category, you usually need to break them up into 3 categories. So your 10 questions into 3 categories. You can put any number of questions within a particular category as long as you have 3. Your type of source, in other words, where you're going to get your answer from. Now, most of the time it's going to be the internet, and that's fine. But one needs to be different. So one needs to be from a magazine, newspaper. I usually say use a textbook because it's going to be easier to do that. Okay. Your biographical information, I think they do give you some more details. There you see the levels of questions, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can go through that when you are putting your questions together. Fill in at least 10 questions and the level of each question in that source table, the one that I showed you up here. And you need 3 different levels there as well. So you can, with your 10 questions, you can have like 8 on one level and then 1 on another one and 1 on a different level, so that you comply with this. Okay. These categories will become headings later in phase 3. Yeah, they give you some examples. Here you can see there's a question, there's the level, and there's the category. Okay, so guys, everything is spelled out very simply. Here you can see is identifying your sources, because once you're done with that table, you're going to have to create another one. Some people just make one massive table that has like all this information in there, and that's fine. But that should be okay. There's nothing major. You can see here with your biographical information what they've done. Okay, the question, the type of source where you were going to get the answer from, and then the biographical information of that source. That's what they're looking for. Okay, and then you would have another table just added onto that where you would evaluate the source, indicating well on the authority. This indicates the validity or credentials of the publisher or author. So if I went to this site and the author was Smart Social, is it a site that's of good authority or that has good authority? Yes, it is. Okay. Currency, is it current in terms of the date everything was published? Well, yes, it is. Is the information accurate? Yes, it is. You know, that is what you are looking for. And then please don't forget to put the summary in. I always ask you about that. Here is an example as well. So guys, everything is here. Yeah, everything that you need is there. There you can see what it should look like. Your biographical information, your evaluation of that source, and then a summary as well. The summary is just where you indicate what you actually found on that website. Okay, and then they give you the hand-in for phase 1. You can see everything over here. Now, usually people just stick to this, but if I remember correctly, right at the bottom of the document, you'll have this. And this is the rubric that we use to mark your pet. Okay. So here you can see for phase 1, we would put in your name, date handed in, and then we would look at your task definition according to this. And this is how we mark it. Okay. You can see the focus question, your 10 questions, some technical aspects on that, the biographical information. Did you do the evaluation? There is the summary there, and then just some general things on the phase 1 working document. That's how you get your marks. So this is why it's important that you use these rubrics right here at the end for phase 1, 2, and 3, so that you can make sure you've got everything. Okay, I just want to see all the way down. Okay, here they mention Appendix B, cover page, headings, analysis, all just good extra information. You need to fill this out, guys. It's learner declaration. Even if you copy and paste it into your into a Word document and just fill it out there, but you need to do that as the learner. Okay, and then yeah, you can see again questions and sources table. They give you some examples, and then they give you a KWLS chart, what I already know, want to know, what I learned, and what I still want to learn. So these are all just things to help you, but I would say the main thing here is just to make sure that you fill in your learner declaration of authenticity. So guys, while you are still putting all your info together for your pet, you know, if you can print this, if you can, you know, copy and paste it over, whatever you want to do, but get that filled in, start going through this and start creating the structure that you need for your pet. Getting that pet 2022 folder you know, created, making your phase 1, 2, and 3 folder, you know, getting all of those things into place so that you know you've got your structure in there. Now, here's a tip. Most of you, in fact, all of you as grade 12s, you did a pet in grade 11, didn't you? Of course you did. So my tip for you would be this. Take your grade 11 pet and make the necessary changes for this year's PAT to that existing one. In your grade 11 PAT, do you have the folder structure? Yes, you do. Do you have a document? Do you have a questionnaire? Do you have a spreadsheet? Do you have a database? You would have done all of that in your grade 11 PAT. The only thing you wouldn't have done was probably the website. Okay, so really you're just going to go and edit basically everything in the existing documents you have to fit with the new PAT, your grade 12 2022 PAT. So all I'm saying to you is use the existing structure that you have. You know, if your teacher has it, ask them for it so that you can take that structure and work from it. It just saves you time so that you don't have to start creating all these documents and spreadsheets and databases from scratch. You've already got it in place. Get the topic, research the topic, see exactly what you want to do, and then start editing last year's PAT that you can use it. And it's really, guys, it's going to save you time. It's going to help you just get a good foot ahead when it comes to deadlines. Okay, so I think that's all from me. But yeah, like I said, this is the first look at the PAT. I will be doing videos through the year as I begin to look at phase 1, 2, and 3 in some more detail.